Welcome to A Slob Comes Clean, the podcast. I am Dana K. White. I share my personal deslobification process as I figure out ways to keep my own home under control. I share the truth about cleaning and organizing strategies that actually work in real life for real people, people who don't love cleaning and organizing. Thanks for joining me today. This is podcast number 360, and I believe I'm going to call it Setting Up Systems and Doing Things Right in a New Situation. So, that's one of those times, right? Like, I mean, this isn't necessarily talking about the new year, but a change of routine, a change of actual location is a time where we all want to do things differently, right? So that's what we're talking about today. I'm talking with Renee. She is a member of our Patreon community. If you are interested in being a patron of the show, supporting the show, you can go to patreon.com/A Slob Comes Clean and find out more information about that. I also want to remind you that if you need a decluttering coach, you can go to declutteringcoaches.com. Everybody listed there is one of my trained and certified coaches, meaning they have been trained and certified in my method, my 5-step decluttering process, my way of doing things. So anyway, that I know I get questions all the time about, I need somebody to help me and I want them to use your methods. And this is how I'm able to do that now. That's declutteringcoaches.com. All right, here, let's have our conversation with Renee. Renee, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Dana. I'm glad.
Well, I'm excited that you're here. You've been moving. We were talking about that before we started recording, which is not fun at all.
No.
I mean, it's fun to be in a new space, right? Like there is kind of like a...
Yes. We are glad to be where we are. We're very glad that we moved, and we were glad to have that opportunity to declutter while we moved.
Opportunity.
But the amount of work, the amount of work that it was, I don't think we joke now. We're like, we're going to die here because like, we don't want to leave ever again.
And go through that. Yes.
No.
Well, tell me a little bit about your unique life home situation.
Yeah. So my mom moved in with us, I would say circa 2013, 2014. She had had breast cancer in the past, like in the 90s, and had been cancer free for a long, long time, and then had a recurrence. And unfortunately came back on her spine. So she was paralyzed for a chunk of that time. And then she had surgery, like miraculously could walk again. And it was just, crazy roller coaster of like downs and then ups and then downs. So she's been with us since then. And we've just been struggling to combine our households of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. And neither one of us are people that like to let go of things. So then that exacerbates it. And then my husband's just in the middle trying to keep the peace. So
at this point, it is a permanent situation.
Yes. If you talk to her, she will say, oh, well, I'm going to, she would like to move out. And I would like that for her. I just don't think it's realistic at this point in her life. Okay. I think it just makes more sense for us to stay together. Hopefully she doesn't sneak out in the middle of the night one night and I find about it later. But
wow. Yeah. Hopefully not.
But yeah, she's fiercely independent. So, it's kind of a good and bad thing because she raised me to be that way too. So the very strong suit that makes her independent, that makes her want to leave, is exactly why I am who I am. And then it's exactly why we argue about it. Right. So it's like,
yeah, that's reality right there, isn't it?
Yes. It's like we are our mothers, right?
Right. Exactly.
So
I know, even on the parts that we're sometimes like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah.
And then sometimes with my daughter, I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. I pass that on. But
yeah, that's been my main struggle, is just, trying to get her to realize how we get into those traps with clutter and how we can get out of it and how we can dig ourselves out. Because we are trying to live in 1,700 square foot of space. She has her own area. We have our, side of the house and she has hers, but she had a big house before she had to leave a lot of it behind. She has a storage unit that's full of stuff too. So that's a separate podcast probably.
So what is the difference in square footage between where you were before and where you are now?
Only about 100. Like we were in 16 and change and now we're in 1,700. So It's only slightly bigger. It's a more efficient use of space. So, and we're giving her the master suite so that she has a little more privacy. It feels like an apartment kind of because it's on that end. So it works for us as far as that goes. It's just we lost our walk-in closet. So I had to make the extra bedroom kind of our our walk-in closet, so we're working around it. I think it's a great, again, the floor plan works way better than what we had before, way better.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
just a matter of fitting what we have into the container.
Yes, really. The reality of the actual container. Yeah. So
Yes.
tell me, what are some strategies that have been working well for you that have had an impact on your home?
Definitely do the dishes. 100% do the dishes. You hammer that home so much, and it's like sunk in to the point where every day, if I walk by the kitchen and something's not in the dishwasher or something needs to be hand washed, I'm immediately like, that's gotta get handled. And as a result of that, the kitchen's cleaner. Like
Yeah.
almost every day, the kitchen, since we've moved, the kitchen is clean.
That's exciting.
Like I'm just, it's amazing. And then again, because my mom doesn't always, or she's in the middle of doing something, making her breakfast, whatever, she doesn't really look at what she's left behind. So, but that's okay. I don't mind picking that stuff up because overall it's easy. It's quick because the dishes are done, because things are put away. It's easier. So yeah, I would say that's easier. And then that kind of spills over to the rest of the house and makes the rest of the house easier because I'm not drowning in the dishes.
I know. I was doing a podcast this morning with somebody who said, are there really people who don't do their dishes every day? And I was like, yep, there's a lot of us.
We live in different worlds apparently than those people, but yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yes, definitely. Absolutely. There are. And I was just explaining how it carries out through the whole house when you don't have that thing to do first, which often stops you from even doing it, because it's like, well, I really need to be doing this other thing, but I would have to do the dishes first to be able to justify doing the other thing. Yeah. I don't want to do the dishes because they're so overwhelming because I'm so behind. So I'm going to do neither thing. Like that's how that ends up playing out. So I love that you've experienced that. And I love that you said that about it's easier to deal with her little trail of stuff because there's not the trail on top of everything else, which I find, and it's funny how that's interesting to me, because I experience the same thing, small amounts of things on a consistently picked up area don't frustrate me as much as when I have my own mess and then other people put more mess on top of that mess. And then I'm like, I'm already overwhelmed and that sends me over the edge. It's just a weird
It is. It's
phenomenon.
It's a mental thing. I don't know what it is, but you're right. And I don't mind it. If she's like now I'm to the point where I just chuckle. I'm like, oh, look at this that we left behind again today. It's more just funny. It's not the thing that pushes you, to your threshold anymore. And we cook all the time. We cook constantly. So that's the other thing, is maybe other people don't cook as much. I don't know why they don't have as many dishes, but we always have dishes. Yeah. And even, before our when we left our rental house, the dishwasher broke. So we were hand washing dishes. So that also added to it. But now that we've trained ourselves to do it every day without the dishwasher, now that we have a working dishwasher, it's like, it's like dream.
It's like doing the dishes by hand helps. Okay. Having a dishwasher helps you see that it's not magical.
Right.
Doing the dishes by hand is where the routine is so incredibly important. And if you can view the dishwasher as a help instead of magic, that's where it really is powerful. But when you think of it as magic, then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to let it build up because it's going to be instantaneous, and it's not, at all.
Yeah. And then depending on if you don't do it at the same time every day, when it's done, those have to go somewhere, or else the dirty dishes have nowhere to go.
Right.
So then there's that. So I'm still working out whether that's at night or whether that's in the morning, but it's like you said, it doesn't matter the time of day. It just matters that it's getting done. So, it's usually at night, but sometimes it's first thing in the morning, because I don't want to take all the hot water either. So I try to figure that.
So tell me something else that's working well in your home that's having a big impact.
I would say take it there now is the other biggest thing. Because not only, in the beginning, when I first was learning how to use it, I saw it as only being impactful for the decluttering process, right? Like if I'm focused on one table or one shelf, and decluttering that one section. And that's how I viewed it, because I was in the middle of moving. So I was, decluttering stuff for the move. But then now, as I get into, like, let's say the mail or anything else that comes into the house, I figured out that take it there now literally applies to everything. Yeah. Literally everything. And it's like, once I realized that, it's so much easier for me to avoid stuff building up, because, like, you get a box in the mail and you open it up. And then, normally I can get to this box later, and you'd set the packaging aside or whatever. Well, what is that? That's clutter then. So it's just, if I'm always thinking, take it there now, I get it gone right then. Yeah. And then I don't have that problem. So it's starting to apply to everything. And that's, it's a good thing. Now it's just about being vigilant, right?
Right. But I think it builds on itself, because, like, the unexpected positive effect of take it there now being like, oh, wow, I'm done with something. It's small, but I'm done. Like, I literally don't have to think about that thing again. I don't have to move it. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to deal with it.
I'm not looking at it. It's not sitting there anymore.
Right. And that feeling is like, oh, wow, I like that feeling. And so then the next time, even if it's something that's slightly different, it's like, well, if I'll do this now, I never have to think about it again. And then that's huge.
It's almost like self-positive reinforcement. It's a weird phenomenon, but it's something that, again, I didn't pick up on initially reading it and watching the videos. I didn't see that down the trail benefit of that. And now I'm starting to see it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta keep, I love it on this, because it's working.
I love it. That's great. So what's something you want to discuss for your home?
Let's see. So I would say paper clutter is still something we struggle with. We still have a lot of clutter after the move, but a lot of it is still in boxes. And we're kind of keeping that way on purpose to try to separate ourselves from it, so we can really see, what is the good stuff that we want to keep versus stuff that we maybe don't use. But paper clutter is the second prong to that, because it's always coming in the house every single day. It's more paper. My mom doesn't have, she's not a paper-free person.
Yeah.
She still very much does the paper bills. She still writes checks for things. Not everything, but there's still a lot. I mean, she gets probably 3/4 of our mail. Easy. So it's just trying to figure out a way to file what you need to file, get rid of what you don't need, and then figure out what works, because there's a lot of failures in that process.
Do you have any sort of a system set up at this point for incoming mail?
So we don't have a good system in the new house. In the old house, we had a mail basket that had different sections, and that was working to get the mail in and sorted, right? But as far as the stuff that we need to keep temporarily, I guess the time will tell kind of stuff, that's the stuff that I struggle with, because I'm a visual person. I have to kind of leave it out, but you can't leave too much of it out. So I think that's where I'm still trying to.
What did you leave it out in? What was it in when you left it out?
Well, right now it's in nothing. It's a little stack on the table. And just because I've been good about keeping the rest of that entryway table clear, that's the only clutter that's on it. But still, every time I walk by it, I'm like, what's in that stack? What do I do with it? It's a little bit of a stress point of, like, knowing that it's not really filed. It's not really organized. It's just the stack is not big enough to cause a big problem yet.
What do you do with your other stuff?
So we have a file cabinet, but, I think I just avoid it because I don't have it properly labeled yet. Like, we've got folders in there and we've got tabs for the labels.
Okay.
But they're not all labeled.
Now, see, someone's going to listen to this and they're going to be like, did she not listen to Dana's podcast that came out on December 29th? Because I talked about this. No, what I'm saying is I just recorded a podcast this morning. As we're recording this, that's going to come out in 2 weeks, and then yours will come out after that. So they just need to know, but basically the first step is for you to come up with very broad categories. I recommend, to do, like, something has to be done with this.
Right. Action items. Yeah.
Time will tell, or wait and see, whatever you want to call it. And then a 2023. Okay. So just those 3 broad categories, and a system apart from the detailed filing cabinet, because the detailed filing cabinet is where things get too much, right?
Yeah.
And so have a system, whether it's a basket with slots, if you know where that is, or if you've unpacked it yet or whatever, if you got rid of it when you moved, I don't know, but it can be 3 tubs. It can be one of those little plastic things that has 3 slots in it, something with just 3 limited slots, because there's something about that pile that even if it's under control right now, it could grow into a monstrosity, right?
Yeah.
Because
and that's the stress.
right.
That's
And so
the
it's
stress.
just a pile, but giving it an actual defined container, whether that's a file folder, whatever, so that every single thing that comes in the house needs to go in one of those 3.
Right.
No, nothing needs to go straight to the big file cabinet. And so if you will do that right now and say, okay, with every single thing that comes in now for you, you might have 6 because you've got, 3 that are for you and your husband and 3 that are for your mom. Like, so that's a possibility for you that would be different in this situation. But those defined spaces so that every single item that comes in gets immediately filed. Are you at liberty to open your mom's mail and file it, or do you feel like you need to give it to her?
Yes and no.
Legally, we all know that you can't actually open someone else's mail, but has she given you that
disclaimer.
kind of? Yes.
Yes. In case the government's listening.
Right.
No, she's okay with it to a degree, but I think that's one of the things she's still holding on to. She struggled significantly when we did move, and she did not change her address in a timely manner.
Okay.
If only somebody would have, asked her to do that in advance. But she struggled because she wasn't getting mail for a while. And she had this whole mindset of like, I don't exist because I'm not getting mail. And I'm like, Mom, it's, the system takes a while, So she's still, the mail is important to her. So I think if I can get a system that she will actually use, we'll be winning. It's just figuring out, is that the same system that I use, right? Like if I do your exact template and it works great for me, is it going to work for her?
Well, I think here's the thing. Try that and then let it build. Right. Do you know what I mean? If you very well may find that you need 4 categories or 5 categories, but you got to have something to do right now. And doing the 3 and just saying it has to fit into one of these, because really there isn't anything else. Like there might be some subcategories, but like either I'm going to have to do something with this, either we're going to wait and see, or it's something that needs to be kept as an official file. Right. So those types of those 3 things, if you just set that up and start working on that because like you said, it keeps coming. Right. So instead of worrying about anything in the backlog, just worry about the new stuff coming in at this point. Like forget about the other stuff and just start getting that practice. And maybe, I know it's hard because there's the mother-daughter dynamics and there's all those kinds of things going on, but it's, being super vigilant about yours. And then if you can, ask, is it okay if I go ahead and file these things this way for you, just to separate them out, even if you don't call it filing, right? You know what I mean? Because filing gives this idea that it's supposed to be super detailed, but it's
it's an official job.
Right. Can I give these an initial separation, an initial thing? Because the number one thing that does is it makes you open every single thing and not assume that something's important that may not actually be important, which then leads to the pile, which then leads to the overwhelm feelings and all that kind of stuff.
Or the opposite, when something's important and you don't realize it because it doesn't look important.
Right. Exactly.
The other problem. Yeah.
Right. And so it's that, and there's a lot of trash too. Like the other place for stuff to go is trash or recycling, whatever you have. So it's like going ahead and being like, it has to have a place in here or it needs to be gone. Then it's going to change how you think. Like when you were saying, we need to get some distance from the paper. That's great. And now you're going to have a completely different understanding of paper after you have been dealing with incoming stuff for a while. Like this changed for me completely, like just changed everything because I just started seeing it all completely differently.
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping so, because it's been helping us with other, like I said, other aspects of the clutter. So I'm hoping that this move is the opportunity to kind of clean slate it.
Yeah.
and really find something that works. And I think those categories work great. I think the only thing I would add is like an extra subcategory for the time will tell, because I feel like I have like the coupons and circulars time will tell, and then I have the business time will tell. There's some stuff that's important and some stuff that you might want to look at or that you might need, but it's not really important, and you don't want the two mixed together.
Well, and that's where the container comes in. So it's crucial because, like you just said, there's some important time will tell and there's some not so important time will tell. Well, when it's a limited space, it's like, oh, well, actually, this is not that, this is not important enough to take up space in this item, because I want to keep it to being the things that I really, want. But going ahead and setting that up for right now with a defined limited space. So the first number one step right now today would be to that pile that's there would be to put it in some sort of a limited, tub, file folder, tray, something like that. Because even just doing that is going to trigger the container concept in your brain and make you realize, okay, yeah. Or even just having that and putting items in there one by one is going to immediately sort out things that don't deserve to go in that space.
Right. Well, at least it's defined. It's defined. It's contained. It has a home, even if that home is not the forever home or the final, I think that's just a help mentally, right? Because I'm not looking at the stack. Even if it's a small stack, it's still a stack. If it's in something, it's in something.
Yeah. And as long as it stays in the container and it's small enough to stay in the container, it can stay under control. The fear is of it getting out of control. Right. Yes. Especially based on where you used to be, what you used to be dealing with and how far you've come. It's that fear that, oh no, this is just going to turn into the same thing again. But the container lets you see it's okay. It fits in the container. It's okay. But as you bring something new in and you realize, oh, that container is getting a little more full, then that's a trigger to go through it and get rid of some stuff in order to free up space in that defined space so that it doesn't just, morph and spill into
hopefully
everything else.
Once that's manageable, I can then have the capacity to go through the the random boxes of mail that we didn't have time to sort.
Well, and that's basically what I said in the podcast that's coming out on the 29th is like, you can do this now and then you will gain so much experience and understanding and knowledge that those boxes of mail are going to look completely different to you when you go through them. Like they will not look or feel the way that they looked and felt as you were shoving things in those boxes, overwhelmed and thinking, I can't deal with this right now. Like it's not going to feel the same. I was shocked at how easily it was for me to go through piles of, things that had built up after I had been doing the super broad 3 categories system for a while.
Right. That's good. That's my hope, because those boxes, I look at them now and I just run away. I run the other direction. I'm like, that's another day. That's not a problem for today.
Yeah. But don't let that keep you from dealing with the mail coming in.
The new stuff.
Yeah. Because it's so many times it feels like I need to catch up on that before I deserve or should get started dealing with the new stuff coming in. But the new stuff coming in, dealing with that is going to be so valuable for you.
Right. Well, and let's face it, nothing in those boxes, they're not burning down, right? Like they've already, if it's somebody that I owed money, they've already found me by now. You know what I mean? It's it's not going, none of that is an emergency. Right. Yeah. So I try to, it comforts me a little bit, but work in progress.
Yes, we all are. So tell me something else that you want to talk about today.
I would say motivation is definitely, it's always a struggle, a struggle. I will say that some of these techniques have significantly helped my motivation already. Just after our move, we're in a much better place now with that. Most days when I get up and look around, I can do a 5-minute pickup and it's not stressful. But then you have those other days where things just, everything's layered on top of it. and you just think, oh, like, where is the motivation for today? Like, where do I find it? What magical creature is going to come and bestow this upon me today?
So what has been working well for you on motivate? You said like some of these strategies and stuff have helped increase your motivation. So can you name a couple things?
All pretty much all the stuff that we talked about, the take it there now,
Mhm.
the doing the dishes. Cause again, having a clean kitchen is, I mean, we're cooking more, like we're being
Mhm.
more inventive in what we're cooking because we can come up with creative things because
Mhm.
we're not worried about cleaning up. We can
So
just
you
immediately
felt
go
that
in there.
build. You
Oh
felt
yeah.
that motivation build that like you experienced the take it there now and
Yep.
how easy that was and how much it improved things. And it was like,
Yep.
okay, now I'm motivated to do that more. I
Yep.
experienced how much easier it is to be creative in the kitchen and how much more I'm enjoying that because I do the dishes. That motivates me to do the dishes. So the number one thing, and I'm not saying that you don't do this. I'm just saying, or that you do this, but is to remember, don't reinvent the wheel. Like just
Right.
really focus in on saying, okay, I'm going to have days where I fail, where
Right.
I don't do the things that I knew were working or whatever. And just to remind yourself that when I get off track, the goal is to get back on the same track, not to create a new track. You know?
Right. Right.
So it's that reminding yourself of what works. Do you ever take before and after pictures?
So I did when we moved. I
Okay.
haven't really used them as like a motivational tool yet. But I did, now I, let me back up. I did use it a couple of times for my mom's space specifically as a motivator for me to go in there and help her. Because when we got out of there, I was like, okay, we can't let her clutter get that bad again. So
Mhm.
now if I struggle with helping her, I remind myself, well, if I don't want it to get like this, I need to do something every day, and make sure that that we're staying on top of it. So I think it's motivational in that sense. I haven't used it for myself as much, but it definitely helps. It definitely works
Yeah.
for you to see how far you've come,
Well,
for
and
sure.
also even just before and after pictures with basic daily stuff, like before and after pictures. This is before I did the dishes. This is after I did the dishes. And the
I haven't
beauty,
thought about that.
yeah, the
That's a good
beauty
idea.
of that with a smartphone is that it already has the timestamp on there. So you're able to
Right.
do the dishes and immediately see how fast you were able to make that much progress or take a before picture and do a 5-minute pickup
Right.
or those types of things sometimes because the difference is subtle,
Mhm.
especially maybe if you're doing really well right now and so you're like, was it that bad before? What? I don't
Right. Right.
remember how, but just to see, oh, 5 minutes, that's how I'm doing this. Just have that visual proof of the
Right.
power of those smaller tasks.
Right. Yeah, I think another thing that's worked, and I don't know if it might have been might have been a Clutterbug tip,
Mhm.
but she was big on making the bed. Like that
Mhm.
just helps. That helps me every morning, just kind of gets things started in the right direction. And the bedroom looks amazing when you make the bed. It's like
It's shocking how
one
big of a
little
difference
thing.
it makes, doesn't it?
And
Yeah.
it takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes no time. I think the timing things has also helped me
Yeah.
with realizing, okay, you feel like it's 30 minutes. It's not.
Yeah.
It's never that long. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is the timing. I mean, like just like you said, I would say time you're making your bed because my guess is it takes less than 5 minutes.
Oh, I think it takes three. It
Yeah.
depends on how much I really finagle with those pillows.
Yes, exactly.
Like if the
But yeah,
OCD kicks in.
well, and even like the before and after picture, which I know sometimes if you're in a hurry, but it's like I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to do this well. I'm going to snap a picture and I'm going to halfway make this bed. I'm going to do what I can in a
Right.
minute and then take it out. And it's like, oh, wow, that was worth it. That was
Right.
worth even just the 30 seconds or 1 minute or 90 seconds that I spent on this because I can visually see that made a huge difference, even though it wasn't perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Letting go of that perfection. That's a huge, I mean, I'm still struggling with it, but at least now I recognize that I need to let go of
Yeah.
it.
Well,
So I
good.
can let go of it maybe, I don't know, 30% of the time.
Yeah. Hey,
It's
that's
getting
better
better.
than done, right? So tell me something else that you would like to talk through.
Um, Good question.
I mean, I have on here, and you can tell me if you don't want to talk about it, but about your helping your mom. But
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it all comes down to. I feel like, my husband and I, when we lived by ourselves, it's not like we didn't have clutter. It's not like we didn't struggle, but the volume increased so much when she came to live with us. We also had like hospital equipment and things like that.
oh
So we
wow,
had to
yeah.
like make room for things like that weren't. So other furniture had to get pushed out of the way. She also had her own set of everything. So we now have, multiple dining room sets, and, her storage unit's still full. It's still full. We didn't reduce any of that. We reduced a little bit of it before the move, but then had to put more stuff in it
Mm-hmm.
after the move, because I would rather shove stuff in there than us having to live with it every day until we have some of the other stuff under control. And then we can kind of slowly, I told her, we will bring stuff from the storage unit and you can tackle it a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so overwhelming. She's working on it. I think we're improving, but it's definitely, I think, more of a mental struggle for her than it is for me, because I've already gone down this journey with reading your stuff and listening to the podcast and learning kind of how we get into these traps. She hasn't done as much of that self-reflection. So I think she's still very much at the beginning stages of it. So she sees that it needs to change, but what she needs to do to change it and how she needs to go about it, I don't think has clicked yet.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's where the 5-step decluttering process comes in. So I was going to say handy, but it's really valuable, because she doesn't have to understand anything
Right.
to look for trash. You know what I mean? So it's like leading her through that process, handing her the printable, which is less than handing her a book or telling her that you've read a book or whatever.
Yes.
But which you can get at a slobcomesclean.com/5, that has the printable of the 5 steps. And you can just kind of guide her through that, because all of that is non-confrontational and it's non-emotional and it's decision free. And so it, like, with each box that comes in, go through that process.
Right.
With her.
And it's
like
up to her. She has the control over it
She
as
has
well.
absolutely the
Yeah.
control. Yeah. So it's like, let's get the trash out. Is there any trash? Well, there's no trash. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no trash. Okay. But you still put it in her head that as she moves things around inside the box and comes across trash, it's like, oh, there's okay for there to be trash. There's okay for there to be stuff that just goes straight to the trash bag,
Right.
And then, is there anything in here that you already know exactly where it goes in the house? Yeah, that's easy. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take that there now. And maybe you're the feet for that process,
Right.
in this. Like,
Yes.
I'm going to help you, but you're making all the decisions. I'm not pressuring you to do anything. But also, the where would I look for this first, and the container concept acknowledges the fact that you have to have an actual place for things for them to be in the home. So it's like, you can keep anything, but you can't keep everything. And if it's not going to be clutter, it has to have a place. So like, that's how you help determine it according to where she would, look for something first. But then the taking it there now is where we acknowledge, oh, you said you would look for this first in the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
There's no room for it there because, I've already got a set of whatever, And so then that reality of that helps make that decision. And it sounds like you guys have a great relationship, and it doesn't sound like she's the type to be like, nope, get rid of yours, put mine in there. I don't know.
I mean, I think she would say that our struggles all come with the fact that she lives there, right? She would say that our great relationship was great until she lived there, but, I look at it more of like, well, we're reflecting each other now, right? That we're in the same space. So we have some of the same struggles. So I'm trying to frame it in the sense of like, I have the same problem. I'm trying to work through it. This is what's helped me.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help you. And if it doesn't, then we keep looking and find other solutions that will help you.
Well, and facts are facts, right? Like, the facts are, if she's going to keep this set of crystal glasses, it has to have a place.
It has to go somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And It's like, okay, well, let's take it there now. Oh, Mom, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm not willing to get rid of my set of crystal glasses. I have no idea what you have, but I'm just saying
Right.
as an
Oh,
example.
well, she 100% has crystal glass.
Okay. But,
And I think we even have two sets because I think she got one for me that she never officially gave to me until we come. So now we do have two.
so it's like, Mom, I'm not willing to get rid of mine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I guess it's going to have to be either in the storage unit.
Yeah.
Or you've got to find a place in your space for them because there's no room for it here.
I think that I think she just needs to flex that muscle more because she gets to the hard questions and then she wants to back out. And she's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I've got to decide this. So that's what I'm like, well, let's not worry about this right now then. Let's go to something easier. So most days we focus on trash. Most days we focus on laundry, just the basic stuff.
If there's trash and laundry to focus on those. That's great.
Right.
And as you get to stuff, don't treat it like it's a hard decision. Treat it like it's a fact.
Right.
Space. There is none.
Right.
Man, this is hard. Yeah. But there's no space. I am so sorry, Mom. I mean, really, because you are, right? Like, you hate for her to go through this, but it's like,
well, and I don't want to make her get rid of anything.
Right. So it's, I am so sorry. Okay. Well, then where would you look for it first? In your room, since there's no room with this, so it's tough and it's not going to be quick and it's not going to be easy.
No,
but
none of it's quick.
Just like
none of it's easy.
But just like you have experienced decluttering momentum as you were like, I didn't know the power that taking it there now was going to have. Right. But once I did it several times, I was in. I was like, this is hugely powerful. For her, she's going to take it there now because it's like, oh, okay, let's go take it. Mom, no, let's go take this to this place right now. And then she's going to experience that. It may take her longer because she hasn't been listening to the podcast and she hasn't been reading the books and she's not in the same mindset. But the facts of taking it there now being powerful exist for everyone, not just people who, understand why. Right. And so doing that's going to have an impact.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think she just needs to do it more often until it kind of starts to click, but she knows the take it there now so well now. She almost spits it back out at me. I'm telling you, she's like, let me guess, take it there now. She knows what I'm going to say.
Well, and she knows it because she's seen it have an impact on you. She's seen you do it and experience the benefits.
She definitely has seen the impact with the take it there now and with the do the dishes. She even mentioned it the other day about us cooking. She's like, oh, you guys are coming up with new stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, look, we got a blank canvas,
Yeah.
I mean, because it even applies to the fridge, keeping the fridge emptied out, keeping the fridge cleaned. It's a lot easier now. So just stuff like that. She's seeing the impacts. I think she's just stubborn. And she doesn't want to.
Aren't we all?
She doesn't want to admit these things work because she thinks it's all my idea. And I'm like, it's not really me. It's
blame Dana. Yeah. No, I mean, that's how we all are, right? And therefore it may take a while. And, but that's also where the letting her be the decision maker is powerful because even though it's your ideas, you are not forcing things on her. You are just stating facts and leading her through this fact-based process.
Right. And I don't want to lose ground. So if, anything we're both stubborn in that sense that if we feel like we're being forced into something, we're out. Gone, we're not listening anymore, let alone doing anything. So, so she, so I don't want to push her. I just want her to see how it all is going to fit in. So hopefully we just got to keep working that process for her to see those things.
Was there anything else you wanted to say or talk about or?
Oh, there's so many things, Dana. There's so many things. I would guess probably the move. I think at one point you had mentioned this, and I don't know if it was the last move that you've done or if it was a previous move, but you had talked about the benefit of kind of separating yourself from your stuff and kind of leaving it either packed away or maybe put in a different room, but just getting that separation so that you could then see what really was clutter and what needed to, and I think that's where we decluttered so much over the last year But then we got to the move and it was just free for all, right? Throwing stuff in. We have a lot of boxes that are organized, and then we have a lot of boxes that aren't. Yeah. So for right now, I'm just trying to keep them, again, separate, whether it's in the back room or in like our dining area. We have a whole, huge stack in there. But was there anything that you think helped you with that process of slowly going through that stuff? Are you still doing that now after
So one item at a time, with the take it there now being everything. You already know the value of the take it there now. So as something leaves the box, I don't pull everything out of a box and make piles around the box. I go ahead and do the take it there now, which if it's a box that's going, I know is going to go to a specific area, then that box goes there and those things get put away. But it's like, it comes out of the box and it's in my hand until it's in its final actual home, because that take it there now prevents the in-between mess, but it also helps me be realistic, especially in a new home. Yeah. Because in a new home, it sometimes is like, oh yeah, I think there's a shelf in my closet above the such and such and but it's like taking it there now helps me go, oh, there was no shelf there. I don't know why I thought there was a shelf there. That was the last house we looked up that we didn't end up getting or whatever. Right. I mean, like just that reality check of actually taking it there now and acting on it. So it's like, even if the unpacking goes more slowly, because I'm doing that, there's so much value in not putting things in temporary for now places. Not that they can't be moved. Anything can be moved at any time, but saying I would rather unpack slowly and, force myself to act on each decision and really truly put things in their final home. And that there's so much value in that.
Yeah, that's okay. Then we're on the right track then, because that's 100% what we're trying to do. And my husband is on board with that completely, because we both know that we have stuff that we can still get rid of and purge, but it's all still useful for the most part, other than some of the rando boxes. For the most part, it's useful stuff that we have used at some point in time. But
useful doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is there a place, Is
there a place? Yeah. Exactly.
And so along with that, you've got your trash bag and your donatable donate box there. And so many times, because I'm forcing myself to say, okay, I got to go take it there now, I'm like, I don't actually care about that much. I don't want to do that. And this will go faster if I just stick it in the donate box. And great.
Yeah. Especially if you have to reorganize that cabinet or that shelf. And then you look at it and you're just like, wait,
yes,
I really need to do this, because all of this stuff I know I need.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's kind of where we're at, is we're just trying to take it slowly and I don't want to put anything away that I then have to declutter later. If we have to declutter it later on because we reevaluated, that's fine. But I don't want to put clutter away. I don't want to do that. I'd rather be in the box. So
I totally agree. I love it. So what do you love about being a kindred spirit?
Oh, I think I love that people are just more open there. They feel like they can share things more. I especially love that people are willing to put, not everybody's willing to put pictures, but sometimes people put pictures and I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one. And it's just reaffirming to know that there's a lot of other people out there living the way we've lived, living the way my mom's lived. Because, it's not just her, it's her whole family, her sisters, they're addicted to buying antiques. All of their houses are full of furniture and then full of stuff on top of the furniture. And, so it's just nice to not have that level of like, I guess, shame or embarrassment, because it really shouldn't be there. It's really not, it shouldn't be a valid emotion, right? It's not taking us anywhere positive. So we just need to get rid of it. So I really like that aspect of it, that people feel like they can be honest there. And it's not a keeping up with the Joneses kind of, it's not a, perfect Facebook profile page thing where everybody's like, look at me and my perfect organized life. And, it's not
which then lends itself to like, okay, well, now I have to come up with something new and fancier and then something new and fancier. And it's like, no, we're doing really well to just keep up with the basics, to get the stuff out and keep the daily stuff done and all that.
And that is okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. That's what I like about it. And that's what I've tried to tell my mom too, is that if she does nothing else, like just do one load of laundry, or just get your cans, get your garbage, whatever you need to get out of there. If you've done just those things, that's good, because then that stuff's not there tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's okay if you didn't declutter anything today. You at least kept that stuff from becoming overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to kind of feel like there's people out there. And then again, the work that you're doing is so beneficial. I mean, if there's any plus to having our technology and YouTube and all of these, it's learning these things, right? Things that we couldn't really share before, unless you happen to have a friend or a family member struggling.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know other people are out there.
Right.
So.
Right. And it's so easy to feel like, I think everybody else knows what they're doing and I don't.
Yeah. Everyone else is on top of it. I'm the only mess. I'm the only person. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's so easy. And that's probably the best, I would say, out of everything, other than just the tools. The tools are amazing for what they do, but just that feeling of like, it is so not just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's not even rare. It's
Yeah.
like I'm special, but not for that.
Yeah.
I'm special for good things like this, we don't. And I told my mom too, I said, our brains are just built to do a lot more in other areas. Maybe we struggle with these things, but we have all these other amazing things that we're good at. We don't have to be good at things like cleaning.
Right.
That can be a learned skill later.
Exactly. Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for
thank you
being willing to come on. Okay. I hope that y'all enjoyed that conversation with Renee. Just wanted to remind you again that if you would like to join us in the Patreon community, in the super secret Facebook group, and just the lovely group of people who all understand and support each other and use these ways of talking about decluttering that we use here, you can join us through patreon.com/A Slob Comes Clean. All right. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.